The Premier League takes a short breather tonight as the Reds arrive at Anfield to begin their defence of the League Cup. A trophy that Liverpool have lifted more than anyone else.
And again, Wheelan's got it! Brilliant goal! Souness. And a goal!
Oh, great run by McManaman. Can he finish it off? He has!
Saved! It's a horrible moment for the young man, but it is Liverpool's trophy.
It's Steven Gerrard! Superb goal!
Can Pepe Reina do it for Liverpool? It's all over! Liverpool are the Carling Cup winners! It's Kepa. Oh, he's missed! And it's Liverpool's League Cup once again! There's the delivery. Van Dijk! Yes! It's absolutely amazing! Liverpool are winners again! The League Cup is theirs for the 10th time! Nobody does it better than Liverpool in this competition.
Wembley and silverware are way off in the future though. Tonight it's the third round for the Reds. Yes, Liverpool and West Ham United square off in the Carabao Cup for the second year running. The action gets underway here at Anfield at 8 o'clock. Welcome along to Matchday Live, a cracker under the floodlights in store for us this evening, and alongside me, pitch side to enjoy it all, are former Reds Jay Spearing and Neil Mellor. Good evening, gentlemen. We will touch on this tournament in more detail a little later in the show. For now, let's take a moment to pause and reflect on the weekend. And Jay, what a well-navigated performance it was by Liverpool. A lot of quality goals, a relative comfort against a decent side in the end.
Yeah, you know, Bournemouth are always them awkward teams where they can come to Anfield and cause a little bit of an upset. You know, obviously the week before with the Forest result, we didn't know if they were going to come and just sit back and relax and, you know, go into a low block and make Liverpool really work for them points. But Liverpool started electric. You know, the pace of Núñez, the pace of Diaz, that final third, the clinicalness of the finishing as well, really put the tie to bed in that first half. And, you know, Liverpool were quite comfortable throughout the game, I felt.
I think the response was key, wasn't it? You know, obviously the blip, the setback against Forest, you were thinking, well, how will we respond? We did in Milan in the Champions League, and then you were thinking, we need to follow that up against Bournemouth, and we did so. A really good week, thinking that it's been a good start, the setback against Forest, and then a real dominant performance against Bournemouth. 3-0, I know people will say Bournemouth had a couple of chances, could have nicked a goal, because they do have a go. We could have scored more ourselves. We could have got 4 or 5 goals.
It was the response, Neil, but also the quality of the football and the quality of the goals as well that really stood out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot's being made about the style of football under the new coach in terms of small passes. This is back to front very quickly. You know, centre-half, Canate, first Premier League assist, long ball up, goalkeeper's in no man's land, really good play from Luis Diaz to score, and this was less than a minute after the kick-off. So 1-0, Bournemouth on the ropes, probably just trying to regroup, and then all of a sudden, we've done this how many times in the past, have we gone bang, bang, and all of a sudden Bournemouth are thinking, where's the game gone? Because at 1-0 they're still in the game, 2-0 they're thinking, God, we need to try and get back into the game, and to get a third goal in first half, and this was the best goal of the day, wasn't it? I mean, what a goal, incredible goal from Darwin, who almost felt like he was desperate to get himself a goal, his first start of the season. Absolutely wonderful it was.
I don't think many people probably expected him to shoot, but also probably a lot of people did expect him to shoot, because, you know, Núñez does many things in a game that you just don't expect him to do. And what an unbelievable finish, especially with his left foot. And, you know, you can see the emotion, and, you know, he's waited a very long time for his chance. You know, he's had opportunities in games before that where he's had, you know, people still question him on his finishing and his clinicalness of being a number 9 for Liverpool. But, you know, to come on and react and get the goal like he did is a fantastic finish.
How good to be 3-0 up at half-time. You know,
yeah,
being inside Anfield at the weekend, it was like, happy days. You know, you felt as though you could relax a little bit more and enjoy the second half.
Yeah, it wasn't quite Mellor Arsenal level, it wasn't a bad strike. Yeah. But we sort of spoken previously on shows about, in that game here against Forest, one of the things that maybe was missing was someone willing to take shots on from a bit of distance. Darwin certainly brings that to a team.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he will have a go, he'll try and make things happen. And I think it's always good when you're 2-0 up. You know, if that's 0-0, it's slightly different.
I still think he does it.
Yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he does. But the scoreline at 3-0, there was a little bit more gaps. You know, Bournemouth pressed a little bit higher. They were really brave in how they pressed, enabled us to go over the press. And Nunes and Salah linked up really well there. So he is that sort of player who has that little bit of quality in him. At 0-0, does he make a different decision?
I think it's fair to say that Ryan Gravenberch's been the player of the season for Liverpool up until this point. He started all 5 Premier League games. He only started 12 in total in the Premier League last season. What have you made with how he's been so effective in there, Jay? It's a position you know very well.
Do you know what? I think it's his all-round game. I think, you know, the belief he's been given from the manager. You know, he went away in the summer with Holland and, you know, didn't get a lot of game time. So we didn't know what shape or way he would come back into the Premier League. But, you know, he's took his opportunity. And when an opportunity like this comes to Liverpool Football Club, listen, he's been at 2 unbelievable clubs before he came to Liverpool, in Ajax and Bayern Munich. And, you know, he was rated highly as a young boy coming through, so he knew something was in there. It was just a matter of time of when it could come out. And, you know, since he started the season, I think he's been exceptional. He's shown such a different range of passing skills, short, long. He breaks up the game well. He can drive, as you're seeing now on the clips. He can drive through the midfield.
Is that what he brings that perhaps someone like an Endo doesn't bring to that role?
I would say so. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree in that. I think that he can bring the dynamic of winning the ball back, and someone like Endo, you know, who done a fantastic job last season. He gets it, gives it, wins it back, you know, create a starting attack, where I feel as if Gravenberch really wins it back but then starts an attack with his driving, his going forward, breaking through the lines and starting attacks quickly. But also, listen, he can go on and score goals as well, and that's another side of his game that, you know, we haven't seen just yet, but in the position that the manager's got him playing, I think he's hit the ground running and he's been exceptional.
I think he's got great mobility in there, great energy. And he's playing with great confidence. You know, you mentioned about the manager backing him in there. You're the player. The transfer window closed. A lot of speculation about maybe Liverpool might replace somebody in there. Ryan Gravenberch is the man in that position, and he's made it his own in these early games. And you can see that sort of confidence in the way that he's been playing.
Okay, well, you mentioned the manager there. Let's get the thoughts of the boss now. For many, the Carabao Cup is seen as somewhat of a distraction from the important business of league and European competition. But for Arne Slot, tonight's game is one of the highest priority.
It's very important because it's the next one, the next game we play, and that's always the most important one. And I know the history of this club. I know what happened last year. I know how special winning a cup can be. So we are far away from that because it's only the first game and a lot have to be played. And we have a difficult tie against West Ham, fortunately at home. But it's a game to look forward to and an important one, as always the next game is.
And do you see this as a chance to utilise the squad? I'm sure there are a lot of players wanting game time, and you probably wanting to give them game time.
Yeah, I want all of them to play. Unfortunately, that's not possible because you can only name 11. But we will play with the best possible team, and that can sometimes also mean that other players that have played a lot or maybe a bit more tired. So that means, because the differences are so small, that I will select for this game different players. But they will come in today and we will look at how fit they are, and then I will make the decision who's going to start and who isn't.
We've seen how well Cody Gakpo played against AC Milan, and Darwin Núñez scored on Saturday as well. All those players who haven't been playing as much must be really hungry to get that game time as well.
Yeah, but I think every player is hungry to get playing time. If you play every week, you're hungry to stay in the team. There's so much competition in this team. We've got so many good players that, and I think they also like to go out because they like to play. They play for a great club in front of great supporters. So who would not like to play at a club like this in a home game for tomorrow as well? So we're in a good place when it comes to the quality players we have, and I can choose between a lot of players for tomorrow again as well.
Arne, Trent said after Bournemouth that he's finding his relationship with you really refreshing, and he's loving how harsh you are with him to try and push him to become one of the best defenders in Europe. What do you think that says about where he is at his career at the moment, that he's seeking that, from you in that way?
It's nice to hear it and to read it because I think we all remember the day Jürgen left, what that meant to him. So you can assume then how good of a relationship the two had. And to hear him saying this after 2 or 3 months about his new manager is always nice, apart from all other things. But it's always good that if they have such a strong relationship, and a lot of them, maybe all of them, had that with Jürgen. It's not always easy to come in and to replace a manager like this, and that he feels it like this is a positive thing, I think. But it's the same with him as with all the others. They all get a lot of individual attention to try to make them better, because if they will get better, then the team will get better as well.
Okay. He also said defences win championships, and we spoke in the last week or so about how it's 5 clean sheets and 6 for you now. Just interested to know whether actually how well the defence has been going has made your job simpler higher up the pitch. I appreciate it's all connected, but has that maybe allowed you to make more progress than maybe you thought you might, because the defence has been so good?
Yeah, defence has been really good. Although in our last game, I think we needed our goalkeeper too many times to keep the clean sheet. I think it was yesterday or the day before, I looked at the league table and looked at, okay, which teams did we face still now, and in what position are they? On the left side of the table, on the right side of the table. And I think all of them, apart from United, I'm not sure about United, but most of them are on the right side of the table. So we say the right side of the table. Is it all the way you say it over here? Yeah. Okay. We go left and right, but you go just one. Okay. So you have to take that in account as well. There are a lot of difficult teams we still have to face, and if we are able, after playing those teams as well, with now, apart from West Ham United tomorrow, we go in the league for 2 difficult away games. Let's see where we are then when it comes to conceding goals, because maybe the fixture schedule has been nice to us when you look at the league table, and we've played from the 5 games, we played 3 times at home, so that helps as well.
A word on West Ham. Their start to the season has not been what they would have wanted, really. How do you see them in terms of coming to Anfield?
Yeah, tough start as well. They face some strong opponents. And I saw during their games that they have very good spells as well. Sometimes we're a bit unlucky with the result. A lot of good players, brought in a lot of players in the summer window that haven't been implemented yet, but maybe there's a chance for them tomorrow to start. So they will come back stronger because of all the quality they already had last season, and which they brought in with a good manager as well. So hopefully it is going to take them a few days extra, but they will come back stronger than they first started the season.
What I like, Jay, is that he's perhaps being the most grounded of anyone at the moment. You know, good start to the season, people starting to get a little bit excited, and he's saying, no. If you look at where the teams are in the league and how they perform, the teams we've played, they're not doing that well. We've had quite a few games at home. He's just tempering expectations just now. The real test hasn't come yet for this side. Yeah,
he's a real cool, calm, collective manager. He doesn't let the outside get into his camp or into the building. He concentrates solely on the club and the players. He knows exactly what he's about. He wants to do it his way. He's really calm. I think he speaks very, very well. Doesn't let the interviewers get too much out of him. And I think he's doing his work and he's talking by the way that he's making the team play. I think you're right in that, the Man United was probably the biggest test we've had between now and between the start of the season and now. There are going to be a few bigger tests coming over the next coming weeks, and but it's a fantastic start. And like any new manager coming to a club stature of Liverpool Football Club, you have to have you're looking for a real good start. You're looking for a quick start. You're looking to get points on the board, and you want to do well, and you want the fans to buy in, the clubs to buy in, the players to buy in. And I think it's been a fantastic way that he's done it so far.
But a calm manager. He's also been a very consistent manager in terms of his selection. What are we expecting tonight?
Yeah, and I think he's mentioned that previously in terms of the fixture schedule. We all knew before the international break there wasn't too many midweek games, so it enabled him to work on the grass and have a consistent team lineup, whereas it's been a real intense period. I think it was something like 7 games in 22 days. There's 4 games in the next 11 days. There's a lot of games in quick succession, and that's where he's looking round and thinking, I'm going to need people who maybe haven't started yet to turn up and contribute in vital games. If we are to achieve anything this season, and we're all hopeful at this stage, it's going to be a squad contribution. It's not going to be a case of the starting 11, it's relying on certain players. Everybody's going to have to play the part, and nights like tonight, you just wonder how many changes might be made.
Okay, well, it's just gone 7 o'clock, and that means we are 1 hour away from the game getting underway here at Anfield. But it also means that we've just had the details through of Liverpool's starting lineup for tonight as well. So let's bring you that team news. Near enough wholesale changes from the weekend, just a couple of survivors from the win against Bournemouth. The team then in full is as follows. It's Kevin Kelleher, Joe Gomez, who's the skipper this evening, Wataru Endo, Darwin Núñez is retained. There's a first start for the club for Fede Chiesa. Curtis Jones is in from the off, as is Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota, Kostas Tsimikas, Jarell Kwanzaa and Connor Bradley. On the bench, it's Yaros, Van Dijk, Diaz, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Salah, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold and Morton. There are changes, but it's a strong side and not a team that is jam-packed with academy players. Now, we knew that was going to be true to a certain degree, because a lot of boys are out on loan, but even on the bench, only Tyler Morton is really given an opportunity there. So a marked change maybe what we've seen previously, but that's also because he's got so many pros ready to go. Yeah,
and if you look at the squad size, I think we just spoke about it then, we touched on it, sorry, that, you know, over the first couple of games, he's not changed many players. He's been consistent with his team. The starting 11's been quite the same, probably week in, week out. He's been able to do that. So, you know, these players that have come in, the Gomez's, the Endos, Chiesa obviously for the first start, fantastic. Jones obviously picked up with an injury and had a little bit of a setback. Cody's been waiting patiently, but he's had probably more minutes out of nearly everybody that's starting the game. Kwanzaa has had a little bit, so has Connor. So, you know, they're all first team players, they're all just itching for minutes, and this is one of the fantastic opportunities for them to, you know, to really put some pressure on the manager and say, well, listen, you know, when called upon, I'm ready, I'm fit, I'm ready to go. And a fantastic time for them to get some rhythm into the game, because, like we say, we're going into a very busy period, and if you want to be fighting on all fronts, you know, everyone's going to have to play their part.
I think when you look at the games and the schedules, tonight was the perfect opportunity to make a few changes. Next week it's Champions League. Would he be tempted to make quite as many changes? I'm not sure. So it's an opportunity tonight for one or two who've not started so far this season, and just remind the manager, listen, I'm here. If you need me to start a game, maybe come off the bench in certain games. But yeah, it's a really strong lineup. I think what I would say is, looking at that starting lineup, quite attacking. You know, there's 4 attacking players, and we've seen sort of so far this season 4-3-3 with sort of Szoboszlai in the 10. I'm wondering who's going to be in the 10. I think Cody Gakpo away at Milan was unbelievable. He was unbelievable on the left. I'm thinking Gakpo left, Núñez down the middle, Chiesa down the right, and then you're thinking, where does Jota? Is it a 2, or does he drop a little bit deeper? I think Jota could be the one who maybe drops a little bit deeper out of the midfield players.
Yeah, and touching, sorry, on the academy plays, you know, we know over the years the Carabao Cup has maybe been an opportunity for them to be involved in the game. It's a really busy period, not just for the first team, but for the 21s as well. You know, we're having three games in 6 days over the next coming days. You know, the players are getting pulled from pillar to post. You know, they're busy schedules just for the first team as well as the academy, as well for the 21. So, you know, was the timing right to maybe get them an opportunity? Obviously not, with obviously the manager, with his decisions made what it is. But, you know, the boys are ready to go whenever called upon, and maybe the next round, the timing might be different and they might get their opportunity then.
Also, it is worth pointing out, guys like Connor Bradley and Jarell Kwanzaa not that long ago were academy players, so it's worth just pointing that out. And there's different players with different motivations. You mentioned that, Jay. Jarell Kwanzaa's one. Frustration of what happened on the opening weekend. Perfect opportunity tonight to come and show the manager you've listened to what he had to say, taken it on board, and shows him you can be a starting player again consistently for the club.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the manager mentioned it as well, because he brought him off in that first game at half-time against Ipswich. We've been there. You know, no player wants to be brought off at half-time. It's disappointing. It's frustrating.
I don't think I did. Did you?
You never got brought off at half-time?
Not half-time, no. You?
Behave yourself.
You
never got brought off at half-time?
No.
Honestly,
yeah.
Wow.
Neil, tell us about when you were taken off at half-time. I'm interested to hear about this.
I need to look into that. but the point being, it's about reactions, isn't it? From a young player, is he going to keep his head down? Is he going to sulk? But the manager said the next day, I want to train. He wants to be back training. I want to show you. I want to get back into the team. Now, he's had to be patient, because Virgil van Dijk and Konate have been absolutely superb, the pair of them. Now it's a chance for Kwanzaa, and he's going to get his game time. You know, he is going to get that game time this season, and his attitude's been spot on, and the manager's now found an opportunity to put him in there. Joe Gomez as well, another player who's not started so far this season. I'm not even sure he's had any minutes this season. I think he had 10 minutes off the bench. That's it. So again, these players have had to be patient, but we know what they can do. It's about being ready, doing the right things in training around the team, so when the chance comes, they're ready to take it.
I'm just going to pencil in 30 minutes of the post-match show for Neil's times I was hooked by
Times
the gaffer at half-time.
I'd be searching
do
mine
that,
as well.
yeah, stay tuned for that. In terms of other players as well, you look at someone like Diogo Jota, started the season first choice, the manager was loving what he's been doing, and all of a sudden just a little dip in the game, taking out the team. He's got a point to prove tonight.
Yeah, he has, and he started the season extremely well. He was pivotal in how they started the season. You can't take that away from him. Okay, he had a little bit of a dip in form, obviously the manager maybe seen something that he wanted to maybe give it a little bit freshen up. And you know what, we talk about players' opportunities. Núñez has come in and took his opportunity, he's got his shirt, he's gone, right, I'm going to get it, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to make sure it's mine. And now Jota's now got to look at it backwards and go, well, you know what, I'm going to have to now do that when my opportunity comes, which again is tonight. He might think, oh, look, it's a Carabao Cup game, but listen, no, it's a first team game for Liverpool Football Club. It's a chance to prove why you should be ahead of Núñez. Of course, they're on the same team, but they're going to be working together, but he has to try and show why he should be involved the weekend against Wolves.
And also, as you said, Neil, it's a very attacking lineup.
Yeah.
He might learn about different combinations tonight, and he might see something, you know what, actually, I like Jota and Núñez in the same team. They could be a combination together moving forward. So it conjures up all kinds of, again, use the word opportunities tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because there's different sort of levels of teams in the Premier League we're going to come up against. So is he going to do that against City or Arsenal? Probably not. But has he got the opportunity maybe to do it against a Leicester or even a West Ham? And these are the sort of games where he can have a real look at that. And if it's not working, he can change it. I mean, what I look at the attacking players, they're all flexible enough to play in any one of those positions across the front three and even in that little 10 slot in behind. So another factor we've got to mention, which touchwood is really good, the injury situation. Apart from Harvey Elliott, you're looking around thinking there's a lot of competition for places there, and that's a real good thing at the moment, and long may that continue.
Yeah, and of course it's a first start for Fede Chiesa tonight. We've kind of glossed over that. Massive opportunity to see what he can do and where he'll play tonight. And I'm sure we'll talk about him through the course of the night as well. Okay, well, we'll have live audio commentary for you just before kick-off this evening. Steve Hunter will be guiding you through all of the action. Evening, Steve. Who have you got alongside you tonight?
Thank you, Mark. Gentlemen, as always. Yes, well, perhaps, and I would say the most passionate man inside Anfield here tonight. It's the great man Aldo. John Aldridge, the gunslinger, is back once again alongside me, high up in the main stand for this one. Got great memories, of course, of playing West Ham United in this League Cup competition, because they were the first team that we beat to win the trophy in 1981, of course. Phil Thompson, the other fantastic, passionate Scouser, captained the team to beat the Hammers. After a Wembley draw, we won at Villa Park in the replay. Last season, of course, as well, because West Ham don't have a good record here. We've won the last 8 against the Hammers in all competitions, but last season we met here in the 5th round, and it was a great night. It was December, just before Christmas, and the fans went away very happy. They were rewarded with a goal fest. 5-1 it was. Liverpool won in the Carabao Cup run. Curtis Jones got 2 goals that night, of course, and would you believe one of Curtis's goals was the 500th goal that Liverpool have scored in this League Cup. Yes, 500. That's some going in one competition, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. And Dominic Szoboszlai, Cody Gakpo and the Egyptian king Mohamed Salah also on target for this one. But Anfield under the lights, pretty special as well, isn't it? Hopefully another special night for Liverpool today. West Ham have started roughly, I would say, under their new boss Julian Lopetegui. They were well beaten against Chelsea at the weekend. Hopefully the Reds can take advantage tonight. Join us for live commentary with Aldo. Mark, it's back to you, my friend.
Thank you, Steve. I think you'll give Aldo a good run for most passionate man inside Anfield. It has to be said. There's no more enthusiastic man for Liverpool than Mr. Steve Hunter. Okay, it's time now to leave our viewers on social media. If you are watching this and aren't yet a subscriber to LFC TV, you can find the details on how to sign up online at liverpoolfc.com/watch. Coming up in the rest of our pre-match show, we'll look ahead to the game with Conor Bradley, who starts tonight. As mentioned, John Aldridge will be on the mic alongside Steve Hunter at just before 8. Then, after full time, we are with you until 11 o'clock for reaction from today's match. That show will also be available as a podcast later on. Yeah, that's right. After the dust has settled, look out for the reaction podcast show that should be dropping a few hours after full time. We'll have the full match replayed on LFC TV from midnight tonight. And as ever, our exclusive behind-the-scenes footage when Inside Anfield lands on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Well, that is with you on Friday. For those of you who are staying with us, do sit tight. After this short break, we'll do a deep dive on tonight's visitors that are West Ham United. We're back soon.